Hello and welcome to Heartrepreneur TV. I'm your co-host Velma Gallant. Super excited to be here today. We have a fantastic guest for you, and she's a familiar face in our community. Regina Andler is the CEO of Autumn Ascent Consulting, is a business transformation specialist who helps women business owners move from overwhelmed to overjoyed in their business using her proprietary From Chaos to Clients program. With over 20 years' experience as a business owner, Regina provides a unique mix of business consulting and mindset strategy to ensure the success of her clients. Welcome to the show, Regina.
I am so excited to be here, Vilma. Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited about this topic. Now, you and I, we have regular conversations and we talk for hours because we are on the same page, especially when it comes to mindset and the importance of that with respect to our businesses. Our topic today is not that, which is going to make this an even better conversation because it's not our usual stuff. Today's topic is why content is your most important asset in your business. So, really looking forward to this conversation because the first question is why is content your most important asset in your business? Why is it so important?
So, think about what content is and what it's used for. If you're a business owner and you're just getting started, you automatically tap into friends, family,
Mhm.
old friends from work, from your old workplaces, and all that kind of stuff. And you have these people who already know you a little bit, and that's how you usually get started. You tap into those known resources, which is great. However, in order to create a sustainable business, you have to start tapping into everybody else in the world, all of those other people who have no clue who you are, what you do, whether they think they should like you or not like you or whatever. And it is your content. That is their first glimpse of you. Your content is what basically attracts them to you or repels them from you. It can go either
Mm,
way.
right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so when you think about it and you have your business and you know who that ideal client avatar is that you're looking for, when you speak their language and you speak to them, that's what attracts them to you. So think of all of the millions of people in the world that you don't know that as a business owner could potentially be clients. We all have clients. They're out there. We have an unlimited, untapped resource base of prospects that are out there for every single one of us. And the single way that they begin to know who you are is through your content. So that's why content is your most important asset.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense to me, of course, because I want them to connect to me. I want that connection, and there's, that beginning of the word, it actually is the same, right? So content is connecting through to the people that we want to be connected to. So, okay. So you mentioned that content both attracts and repels. And my first response to that, my visceral response was, I don't want to repel anyone. But at the same time, what I also get out of that is that it helps me to not waste time with the people who are not the right people for me. Am I hit?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Because repel doesn't feel entirely negative to me.
yeah. So think about that word repel for a minute, because remember, words matter. So we always talk about that. Words matter, and repel. Your instant thought for repel, and it is for most people is step back, repel, step back, and move away from it. Right. That's not necessarily a bad thing because not everyone is your client. Not everyone out of there, of all of those millions of people that are out there, literally every person walking the face of this earth is a potential prospect if they need what it is that you offer. only if they need what it is that you offer or want what it is that you offer are they actually prospects. Outside of that, they're just they're not your client. And so when you know who that ideal client is and you create content that speaks to them, it's going to automatically repel those that it doesn't speak to. And by repel, it just means they're just going to pass you by. If it's a post on social media and they start reading and they read your headline of your post and they're like, yeah, that's not something I'm interested in. And they don't read, they just move on to the next thing. If it's something that is interesting to that person, now you've got their attention and now they want to know more because you've got the right audience.
Okay. So I had a visual come in while you were sharing that made sense to me. So you can tell me if I'm understanding you correctly. Our content is like the window displays in a shop. They walk by, and if I see a beautiful pair of red shoes in the window, I'm going to go walking in.
And to your point right there, if I walk by a store and I see a beautiful pair of red shoes in the store window, I'm not going to walk in because I'm not interested in red shoes.
Right.
That is a perfect example.
So yeah, so really our content is those windows displays. And just like in like in a mall or a street shop or something like that, you want to change up your displays. So you want to have regular content, right? I'm just kind of following this.
Mhm.
You want to have your regular content. You might want to change it up to be purple shoes.
Can we change it to Birkenstocks?
Well, but I love how you took that. And I mean, you and I, we have a lot in common, and yet we are not the same. And it also points to, for example, clearly you're not a shoe salesman. So it is, what do you have on display in your window? And you had mentioned knowing who your client avatar is or who your ideal client is, and knowing that helps me to make sure that I'm putting the right information on display in my window display, which would be, for example, my Facebook business page or my YouTube channel, or any of those social media outlets. Okay, so am I understanding everything correctly?
You got that spot on, and I love that analogy. I might have to steal that one from you because I love the window display. Because think about that for a minute. So if you are a big fancy store, then you might have all of the upscale, that's bad because I don't know any of the fancy names for some of the shoes that are out there for the for the fashionistas out there.
Well, like there's Louis Vuitton purses if you're a purse person, or there's, oh, I can't think of the name of the one that's red, that it's got the red sole.
That's what I was trying to think of, and I can't think of the name of it.
Okay.
However, think about that. So if you're that upscale kind of store and your window display is looking for that ideal client who is that upscale person who likes to get dressed up, who likes to wear the fancy red-soled shoes, then that's what you're going to have in your window display because that's who you're trying to attract. Conversely, if for some reason you decide, I'm going to put a bunch of hiking boots in that display, well, now those people who love the red-soled shoes, chances are pretty good that they see the hiking boots, they're going to just go, yeah, no, they're hiking boots. Yeah, cool, but it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my red-soled shoes, right? And so they're going to pass you by. And so it really is that your content, that's what it is. It is the window of who you're trying to attract. And so depending on who you're looking for, that's who you design your window for. That's who you design your content for.
Right. Okay. I really like that. So what I'm hearing is before you even think about your content, you want to know who your ideal client avatar is, and you want to know where they're hanging out, because of course, again, you're not going to, I'm not going to put my shoe display in an area where it's men's pool halls. Right. So
Exactly.
I'm not going to put my store there. Right. I'm going to put my store in a location that my uh I might hang out for my red shoes.
Yeah, I mean, here, yeah, I mean, I know you're in Canada, so I'm going to use some states references here. So if you're out in California on Rodeo Drive, you've got your red soled shoes and everything nice and fancy. Well, now
Mhm.
if you go up to Vermont on the other side of the country where everybody's hiking, that's where your Birkenstocks, your hiking shoes, and all of that stuff is. And while some people might cross over, so there's those people who, well, I love getting fancy. I love my beautiful top of the line fashion shoes. However, for fun, I like to go hiking and do other stuff. So hiking stuff's okay too. I
Mhm.
just prefer over here. This is what I like more. And so when you think about who your ideal client is and you think about that person, what do they look like? What is it that they're looking for in the shoes? I'm sticking with the shoe analogy. So what are the features they're looking for in the shoe? If you're wearing, just gonna say it, if you're wearing the red soled shoes, chances are pretty good you're not looking for comfort because I don't know. I have never been told by anyone who wears heels, and I stopped wearing heels a long time ago. So I've never been told by anyone who wears heels that heels are comfortable to wear for any extended period of time. However, hiking boots or something like that, they could be more comfortable depending on, what you've got. And so when you know who that ideal client is and you go, here, my ideal client, they want a pair of the red soled shoes and they want a 2-inch heel, they want a 4-inch heel, they want a 6-inch heel if they want to go really crazy. Whatever it is. And they want a variety of, they got the red soles. However, they want a variety of the tops. So some of them are, just plain black and the red soles. Other ones might have some fancy designs. And when you know who that
Mhm.
ideal client is and what they're looking for, it's all about it comes down to no matter what you're doing, whether it's shoes, content, whatever, it all comes down to what is the result that the person is looking for. So if I'm looking for a pair of red soled shoes with a 4-inch heel, I'm going to go to a specific place to go find them because I know they have them. If I am looking for something to do with my business, I'm going to go searching for the person I know that can provide that result for me and who has the answers that I'm looking for. It's the same thing, right?
So having a proper Windows display for the people that you're looking to work with in a location where they hang out and making sure that they know that you've got the results for them. So, and I like what you said there because as much as shoes are my thing. The clothes, mm, I can wear the same outfit with a different pair of shoes and feel freaking awesome. And it depends on the context of where I'm going because I also have a favorite pair of shoes that I like to walk in the river with. So it depends on what it is that I'm looking for, what my purpose is, what I think is what you said.
Mhm.
So do they want to walk in the river or do they want to walk on Rodeo Drive?
Right. And so that's where anytime you're making any content, before you even think about your content, remember, content is what brings those people who don't have a clue of who you are. That's what brings them to you. That's their first introduction to you. So if you are looking for shoes and you go walking down Rodeo Drive, chances are pretty good there's going to be shop after shop after shop after shop that has shoes.
Mhm.
And which one are you going to walk into? You're going to walk into the one that attracts you the most.
Yes.
And so when you're thinking about your ideal avatar, your ideal client, you want to really know who that person is and where they hang out and what they do so that you know when you write your content, You're speaking directly to them. Your content is one of the things I'm going to kind of trail off, but trail back in,
Mhm.
is that a lot of times I see content that it's very general. It's not specific to a person. And whenever you write content, you should always be writing content as if you are speaking to that one person. So when you really can drill down to who that ideal avatar is, that ideal client, then
Mhm.
when you write your content, you are speaking directly to that person. And as you write your content, that's how you write it. You write it as if you are speaking directly to them. That's what's going to attract them to you to say, oh, she's speaking to me. Why? What has she got to say?
Right. Okay. Okay. So I like that because you're talking you mentioned general content versus specific content. And so that would be what I kind of go at is like that would be like me trying to be I'm talking like I'm a big box general store, right? So might as well stick with the analogies here.
I'm loving this store analogy.
Big box, a general store that's got, it's got the shoe section, it's got the hiking section, it's got this, it's got that, it's got food section over there, kind of thing, like Walmart. Um, and if I keep it too general, then nobody's going to come walking into my store. My displays are not interesting at all.
So yes and no, right?
Okay.
So think about when you put that general content out there, it's like throwing the proverbial spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Hmm.
So you are going to attract some. However, it's going to be more challenging to get the amount of people to see your content that you want, because if you are just throwing something out there at the wall and it's like, yeah, great, I got a few eyeballs on it, not really as much as I wanted. If you're more specific and more targeted and speaking directly to that one person, then you're going to draw more people in. So the big box store versus I don't know, Bloomingdale's, is that a is Bloomingdale's still around? I don't even know.
So I was thinking more along the lines of a specific shoe store versus, I think Bloomingdale's has shoes and clothes and right. So if I'm on a mission to get my red shoes, I'm probably going to look for a shoe store versus a big box store that might have my shoes, but I know a shoe store is going to have my shoes, right?
Right,
So
right.
so that's kind of what I'm getting from that is I'm going as the client, I'm going to find what I'm looking for at the shoe store, the specific content, because that's what I'm looking for, versus heading into the general store and maybe finding what I want, maybe not. So from a
Exactly.
customer perspective, um, I'm gonna head to the specialist versus the generalist.
Exactly. Because like I said, with that big box store, that's the throwing the spaghetti. So you might get what you're looking for, you might not get what you're looking for. If you're the big box store and you're looking to have more people come in, then you want to attract the certain people that you're looking for. You want to get closer to that ideal avatar. So think about it in content terms. When you write your content, you mentioned a little while ago about where you're posting. Um,
Mhm.
that makes a big difference. You don't want to post what was it, the guys pool hall group or something like that. It was like, yeah, they're not interested in red shoes unless they're trying to make up with their wife or something. I don't know. Outside of that, they probably have no interest whatsoever in red shoes. And people probably just learned a lot about me as you're talking about red shoes, and I said, yeah, I don't even know what stores sell red shoes, so you learned a lot about me right there. Yeah, I'm the hiker girl. I'm the lake girl, hiker girl kind of type. When you think about your content, think about who it is that you're attracting in. So your content does multiple things for you. First off, it is that initial how do you attract customers. So we've been kind of talking about here's how we get them in the door, right? Here's how we
Mhm.
attract them and get them in the door. Well, the next thing you need to do is once you get them into the doors, that content is what starts building that know, like, trust factor. So
Okay.
when you think about, okay, great, I've attracted you. You walk into my shoe store, you look around and you're like, yeah, there's some shoes here, they're okay. I don't really think they got what I want though, so I'm going. So that next piece of your content, you've attracted them in. Now, are you keeping them? Are you engaging them? Are they looking to stay and see more? Or are they going, yeah, looked like you had what I wanted, but I don't think so. So I'm going to go over here now. So that next piece is to build that know, like, and trust. So once you've attracted them, now your content's purpose is to get them engaged so that they want to hear more. And then once you have them engaged, that's where the know, like, trust starts.
Okay. So I think I'm hearing different kinds of content. So, the window shopping would be like my posts on social media and stuff like that. Once they walk in the door, do I start using different kinds of content in order to build that know, like, and trust?
So think about what content you put out there because I know you have your group. I have a group as well. A lot of people have their business groups, right? And so
Mhm.
when you're in there, just posting one type of content isn't going to keep people sticking around. And especially if you kind of do like similar stuff over and over and over again, because people are going to be like, oh yeah, it's just her stuff. Yeah, 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 I'm going to move on. It's all about mixing it up and having that content. So you shoe store analogy. Yeah, I like those red soled ones. However, I'm going to a function and I want a black soled shoe. I'm making this stuff up because you would obviously know at this point I'm not a shoe person. So and so the different types of shoes, and so you're kind of keeping them engaged with other stuff that's going on. So from a content standpoint, what does that mean? From a content standpoint, on say a social media post, you have that information. It could be the picture that draws them. It could be an image, a meme that draws them in, right? It's what draws them to first attract them to you. Now you need to build that know, like, trust. So what is the content behind that? What is the copy behind that? What is the message behind it? You'll see a lot of people posting out questions. Do you like this or that? It's are you a dog person or a cat person? Are you a lake
Mhm.
girl or an ocean girl? It's what type of stuff do you like? And what that does is that anybody who has a dog or a cat, if I put a post out and say, are you a dog or a cat person? Automatically people are going to go, oh, not only was it really short and sweet, however, it also really engaged people because they were like, oh, I'm a dog person. Oh, I'm a cat person. Oh, I like them both. And they
Mhm.
jump right in and they engage with you. Now that people are engaged, you continue the conversation. So your content isn't just that one post. Your content is your content bucket of everything that you're doing there. So whether it's social media posts, a lead magnet, a consumer awareness guide, an ebook, um, a checklist, a template, something that you give out for free, whatever the content is, it's layer upon layer upon layer because it's all about your content is what adds the value so that that know, like, and trust begins.
Mhm.
And then organically people say, "Oh, what else do you have?" Instead of you trying to sell things to people. I mean, at the end of the day, you're a business person, right? We're using our
Mhm.
content to attract potential clients to us. Well, before they become clients, we have to build a relationship with them. And that's that know, like, and trust. That the content in those posts and those lead magnets and all that stuff that we put out there, that's what attracts them in, engages them, and gets them to say, "Oh, I really like her content. Oh, what does Velma have to say today?" You have people looking
Right.
forward to what it is you're gonna post every day because you keep them engaged.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So I'm hearing there's different kinds of content,
Mhm.
different levels of engagement for different kinds of content. So um my Facebook business page, it has lots of areas of content, right? Because I've got my header image, I've got my about information that again is content. I've got the daily posts, for example, that is more content that leads to perhaps a group that I engage with, even more in-depth content. So I've invited them to the back room that's got the special shoes. Right, or the special events, the special by invitation only sale, those kinds of things, right? Like I'm hearing that there's we get the opportunity to play with different kinds of content in order to engage them more. And then that I would even say that goes deeper because when they purchase content, right,
Mhm.
it's again it's more of our content, and that is an asset as well. So I'm hearing that there's different levels of those assets. There's the more expensive assets, there's the more precious assets, or like the actual red shoes.
Yeah, it's one thing to get them to come to the store and actually look at the red shoes. Now, all right, we'll keep that analogy. So you looked at the window, you saw the red shoes. You're like, I want to go check them out. You walked into the store and you walked up to the display and was like, really cool red shoes. Now you've decided to try on the red shoes.
Hmm.
So now you're going to actually get closer to them, check them out, touch, feel, see if you really want to do this. And then you're going to make a decision whether or not you're going to buy the red shoes. All different levels of content. So are you going
Absolutely.
to, you buy the red shoes, you just bought your signature program, right? So you tried them on. Maybe you tried, a consumer awareness guide or something. There was a little bit something there that led you to, I actually want more information. I want that signature program. So yeah, using your shoe analogy, it's like we're looking at the window, we're walking in the store, we're walking up to the display, we're trying them on, and we're deciding to buy.
And if you're wondering where this shoe analogy came from, if you take a look at some of my content, you might have seen some red shoes.
I love your red shoes. I would never wear them, but I've seen your red shoes. They're just not me. There is one thing. There is one thing I want to make sure that I point out with this is all about why content matters, right? One of the big reasons why this content matters, and this is why the shoe analogy is so awesome, is that your content is what differentiates you from everybody else. So if you write content that looks like everybody else's, I see a lot of people copying other people's style and the way they write,
Mm.
and you read stuff and you're like, wow, this sounds like I feels like I've read this before, but this is a different person, so I know I haven't read this before, and it all kind of sounds a little bit the same. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing with your content, one of the keys to your content is be authentically you. Remember to
Mhm.
put the you in unique.
Right? Right. And I love that. And that I mean I some of my content very basic. Some of oops. Oh, my earbud. Okay. Some of my content's very basic, and it's just thoughts and things like that that can go out there. And at the same time, I've got some of those really punchy me contents out there that my hope is, and you could tell me if I'm heading down the right avenue. My hope is that it's like the spring display in my shoe store window. Like it's the one that they go, oh, right? Instead of I know there's a shoe store there, but it's like, oh, right? So I like having those little punchy ones that kind of grab someone's attention. And some of the normal ones because it kind of changes it up again. If everything's punchy, I'm going to get ignored because it's
Ex-
all punchy.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to content, there's a, there's a lot we can talk about with content, and we could go on forever and ever. And the key is that yes, you need to mix it up. It's not just posting the same type of stuff over and over and over again. Eventually, people are going to be like bored with your
Yeah.
content, whether it's valuable or not. They're just going to be like, oh, this is another one of those. Oh, yeah, it's another. I was doing a Friday freebie um, every Friday for a few months. And
Hmm.
then, and I noticed engagement, download, 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 less downloads, less downloads, less down. And it wasn't about the content. The content was still good content. It was just people were like, oh, yeah, it's another Friday freebie. I'll get it later.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's just another red shoe.
It's just another red shoe. Yeah. If you have a closet full of red shoes, chances are pretty good you're not interested in any more red shoes. You've got enough. Now it's common. Now it's just the
You
norm.
know what? I think that again speaks to the growth in our content as well. Now, I know we're getting to the end of our time here, and I know this is a good conversation. Red shoes aside, it has. Look, I've enjoyed the analogy and the play that we've had with that, and um, the uniqueness I think is really important. The understanding is really important. What content do you have right now? What content would be of value for you to integrate into your system? How can you adapt your content now that you've been out there for a little while, like you said, with your Fridays? So I know that you've got something coming up that can really help people to clarify how they can use these assets that we have, how we can create more assets, how we can utilize them more effectively. And um, I don't fully understand what's in your program. I know I'm waiting to find out more because I already did register. So, how do people learn more about why content is our most important asset? Because I know you go into that in a little bit more depth.
Yep. So the program that I have coming up is it's a free masterclass. It's a free 3-day masterclass. And I'm just gonna throw in there will be bonus content as well. And it starts on May 15th, and it's called The Unicorn Factor: How to Demystify Your Marketing Content to Set You Apart from the Crowd. And as you
Mm,
can tell, we filled up this time like that. And there's so much to talk about. And we're going to be talking about social media type posts. We're going to be talking about lead magnet type things like those checklists and freebies and that kind of stuff. Then we're going to talk about stuff like live streams, like this kind of thing, podcasts, just Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, TikTok, Reels, why those are important and why the content in those matter as well, and the different types of content so that you have the complete mix, so that when you find that ideal client avatar, that you actually not only just attract them to you, you engage them, you build the know, like, and trust, and you are completely different from all of your competitors or all of the other people that are out there. You are the unicorn, you stand out because now you know how to create that unique content that is yours and only yours. It can't be duplicated by somebody else.
beautiful. There's a lot of content on content.
A lot of content on content, yes.
Awesome. So I've put the link up on the screen here, theunicornfactornow.com. So for those of you who are in our community, Regina's going to put the link in there for you so that you can just click and go. And for those of you out in YouTube land, the link is there on the screen. You're going to be able to access it without any problems whatsoever. Again, what are the dates for that?
It begins on May 15th. So
Okay.
May 15, 16, and 17.
Perfect. And if you happen to watch this after the Unicorn Factor has been completed, definitely connect with Regina. You'll find her on social media, Regina Andler. I'm going to take that down so we can see your name again. There's the spelling. And so connect with Regina, come on over to Entrepreneurs with Terry Levine in Facebook, and you'll be able to connect with more heart-based business owners like Regina, like myself, like Terry. We have an amazing community here, and we do love to lift each other up. So you will be lifted up as you pursue your business and are out there making a difference, being a unicorn in the world. Okay, awesome. Thanks so much for coming, Regina.
Thank you.
Fantastic conversation as always.
Thank you so much for having me, Velma. Always fun chatting with you.
Awesome. And we'll see y'all in the community. Have a great day.